Hello everyone, my name is Eric. Welcome to my YouTube channel summary of books. Today we are going to summarize the book The Millionaire Fastlane. So let's get started. Part 1, Wealth in a Wheelchair. Get rich slow is get rich old. M.J. DeMarco grew up in Chicago and he was a porky kid with only a few friends. And like most kids these days, he is interested in video games and donuts more than sports chasing the girls. MJ grew up in an ordinary neighborhood and he used to watch a lot TV. One day, MJ came across an incident that changed his life forever. While he was out to buy his favorite ice cream, he saw his dream car, a Lamborghini Countach. He was awestruck because he liked that car so much and worshipped the car like a god. Then, MJ saw the owner of the car walked over who looked like a 25-year-old dressed in blue jeans and an oversized flannel shirt. MJ couldn't believe his own eyes because he expected the owner of the car to be much older. As what most people believe, there is no way one can earn so much money at such a young age while still has the time and energy to enjoy life. What MJ did then was that he went up to the owner and asked that guy, "May I ask what you do for a living that allows you to afford such an awesome car?" And the owner of the car responded, "I'm an inventor," and drove away. MJ stood there frozen in disbelief. And that moment changed MJ's life forever. He started to understand and exposed to the fast lane. From then on, MJ began his search for the Millionaire Fastlane method rather than buying into the ideas where people have to work hard for tens of years and save all their money to retire rich and old. He wanted to retire rich and young. Most people have the wrong perception of wealth, as in they believe that getting rich has something to do with talent and fame. Just like the young MJ, he believed that he needed to be a famous athlete, a celebrity, an actor, or super talented in order to get rich. However, this is not the case. Part 2, Wealth is not a road, but a road trip. In the second part of the book, you will learn that why the old adage "get rich slow" is a losing game and it demands a long life of painful employment. The real golden years of your life are when you are young, vibrant with energy and sentient, not when you are old and have no energy to enjoy your wealth. You have to understand that wealth is a formula, not an ingredient. And it is the process that makes millionaires, not events. People focus on events like selling their company or winning a big contract, but the real story is not the event, it is the process, the hard work, and the effort that makes those events possible. And if you skip the process, you will never get to the event. Besides, MJ also writes that fame and physical talent are not prerequisite to wealth. Change can happen in an instant and wealth is created in an exponential manner, not linearly. MJ also says that there are literally only 3 types of financial roads: the sidewalk, the slow lane, and the fast lane. Part 3, Poorness, the sidewalk. The sidewalkers are people who are living well today at the expense of having more security tomorrow, and their destination is being poor. As MJ explains, the sidewalkers view debt as an asset and they value spending over saving. More importantly, sidewalkers live a life of instant gratification and they don't plan for the long term. Being a sidewalker is dangerous because external events such as job cuts, recessions, and interest rate hikes can be devastating for people who live from paycheck to paycheck. It is important to note that being a sidewalker doesn't mean that you are poor. There are plenty of rich people like athletes and celebrities who make a lot of money, but they spend like no tomorrow. MJ also writes that being wealthy is not about money, luxury cars, or expensive vacation. Being wealthy means having the health, surrounded by great friends and family, and the freedom to live life however you want. This is where MJ refers to the 3 F's: fitness, family, and freedom. Besides that, sidewalkers tend to pursue wealth events such as hoping to win the lotteries and making money through gambling. Part 4, Mediocrity, the slow lane roadmap. The second type of financial road that most people choose to travel on is called the slow lane. The slow laners sacrifice today so that they can be better off in the future, and it is the opposite of the sidewalk. This is also another poor choice because wealth is best enjoyed when you are young and healthy, not after decades of the soul-sucking job. Plus, if you travel in the slow lane, there are many factors that you cannot predict, such as recessions and how the market will perform. A lot of people lost over 50% of their savings during the housing and financial crises. Imagine you give up your time for money, budget aggressively, look for deals and coupons, and save a huge portion of your money and put them into the stock market for long-term compound interest. After going through 20 grueling years, financial crisis hit and you lost most of your hard-earned money. How will you feel? This is the slow lane mentality. Slow laners sacrifice their Monday through Friday so that they can enjoy the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. This is just like trading $5 for $2. Do you want to trade 5 weekdays for 2 weekend days? In general, holding a job will limit your leverage and control of your wealth. It is important to note that when you are holding a job, it means that you are selling your time and your life for money. Apart from that, the experience you accumulate is limited. You will learn much more running your own business in a month than working for someone else for a year. Plus, you have no control over your income because your salary is greatly depending on other people, which is your employer. MJ says that if you are depending on your job to get rich, you have uncontrollable limited leverage because the measure of your value largely depends on your time. You simply cannot 10x your work hours because every one of us has only 24 hours a day. Another problem with the slow lane is that compound interest does most of its work at the end of your waiting period. When you take a look at the chart that shows investing $10,000 will yield $2.5 million in 40 years, which sounds great. However, what most of the slow laners never realize is that your investment is $600,000 in 30 years and $160,000 in 20 years, meaning to say, a huge portion of the money is accumulated in the final decade. Now, what if the market did not perform as good in the future, or what if you have a heart attack in 30 years? The problem with compound interest is that it requires a long time to see the result, and most of the result comes in the final stage. Here's what MJ writes in the book. Think about it. Have you ever met a college student who got rich investing in mutual funds or his employer's 401k? How about the guy who bought municipal bonds in 2006 and retired in 2009? I wonder if that guy driving a $1.2 million car can because of his well-balanced portfolio of mutual funds? These people don't exist because the youthful rich are not leveraging 8% returns, but 800%. The slow lane is filled with hope. You hope the stocks go up, hope for a promotion, and hope that you will not be retrenched. Plus, MJ warns his readers about the advice from financial gurus. Some so-called gurus rarely get rich following the advice they give you. In fact, these gurus get rich by writing books and selling seminars and courses. When you take financial advice from people, make sure what they teach you or what have actually worked for them. Part 5, Wealth, the Fast Lane Roadmap. When it comes to the fast lane, it is a strategy that is not much different from the slow lane, but the rewards from the fast lane are far greater. Never misunderstand get rich quick with get rich easy. Here are some comparisons between the slow lane and the fast lane. Slow laners take decades to accumulate wealth, while the fast laners usually take 10 years or less. Slow laners allow the market to control their assets, while fast laners control their own assets and have the power to change their value. Slow laners are employees, while fast laners are employers. Slow laners use mutual funds and stocks to get rich, while fast laners use them to stay rich. The fast lane is all about taking a lot of work in the initial stage. You may need to spend 5 to 10 years focusing on your business before you reach the kind of success you desire. The best part is that once you have reached that level of wealth, you will have the freedom to do whatever you like for the rest of your life. When it comes to building great wealth, the fast laners do not focus on the heavy lifting. Instead, they learn to create a system that does the heavy lifting. This does not mean avoiding work, but it means being resourceful, optimizing, and automating relentlessly. MJ goes on to explain using the example of building a pyramid with heavy stones. The slow lane approach is to carry the stones yourself, one at a time. This approach will take decades, which will eventually tire you out. The fast lane approach is to spend the first few years designing a system such as a pulley to carry the stones. In the beginning, you spend time building the system, and slow laners who don't understand may laugh at you. Once the system is up, your initial effort will pay, and you can complete building the pyramid in a much faster, easier, and automatic manner. There is no need for you to work for 40 or 50 years to earn $1 million. You can leverage the fast lane strategy, spend the first few years building the system, and then earn millions after that. Become a producer. Since the day you were born, you were conditioned to be a consumer. You will act, do, and be like a consumer. You want products, need products, buy products, and, of course, seek out the cheapest of those products. However, if you want to play the fast lane game, you must be a producer and think like a producer. Instead of buying products on TV, sell the products. Instead of digging for gold, sell the shovels. Instead of taking classes or pay for a seminar, be the one who conducts and sell the seminar. Instead of looking for a job, be an employer and hire for jobs. Instead of taking a mortgage, hold a mortgage. When you switch your thinking and roll from a consumer to a producer, you will join the fast lane to create wealth quickly. Divorce wealth from time. MJ suggests readers build money trees, which are business systems that survive on their own. Money trees require periodic support and nurturing, but they are able to survive on their own, which are able to create a surrogate for your time for money trade. Here are some examples of money trees. 1. Rentals. You can rent out real estate, your patents, licenses, etc. 2. Software. If you put up a software for sale online, you leverage the internet and make it available all across the world, for 24/7. 3. Content. Authoring books, magazines, blogs, audio, video, and more. 4. Distribution system. This includes franchising, network marketing, television marketing, and much more. When it comes to compound interest, the slow laners use it to get wealthy while the fast laners use it to create and maintain their wealth. For example, a slow laner starts with $5 and waits for it to compound to millions. On the hand, the fast laner starts with millions and uses interest as a source of income and not as a source of growth. MJ also explains that to make millions, you must serve millions in scale or few in magnitude. The law of effect ion states that the more lives you affect, both in scale and magnitude, the more money you can make. Part 6. Your vehicle to wealth, you. You must learn to earn your vehicle first before you can make millions. And that vehicle is you. The term, pay yourself first, is fundamentally impossible to achieve in a job, so start a corporation that formally divorces you from the act of a business. The best business structures are the S-Corp or an LLC. This is because they offer limited liability and tax efficiency. At the same time, try to avoid partnerships and sole proprietorships because these structures do not limit liabilities. The choices you make will ultimately determine your life. Poor choices are the leading cause of poverty. And choices you make early on in life when you are young have the biggest impact. If you change course at the beginning of a 10,000-mile trip, it makes a huge difference. If you make the change in the last 10 miles, you will highly end up in about the same place. According to MJ, choice is the most powerful control you can have in your life. Sadly, most people make the wrong choice by following the path of the slow lane or the sidewalk. So make choices that will move you into the fast lane by first changing how you think, and then how you do things. When you master your choices, you can make better use of your time. He continues to write that there are two good techniques for making choices. First is the worst case analysis, WCA, and the next one is the weighted average decision matrix, WADM. Using WCA is easy and straightforward. You just need to ask these 3 questions below to come to a conclusion. What is the worst case? How likely is it going to happen? Is this an acceptable risk? As for the WADM, you will need to figure out the factors that matter to you, give each of them a weight, rate on your choices on each factor, and then multiply the ratings by the weight you assigned them to get the score for each choice. You then make your decision according to the highest total score that you get for that certain choice. When you have debts, they will force you to work harder and longer. MJ calls debts as parasitic because your mortgages, car payment, credit card bills, etc., limit your choices. When you are making a big purchase, think about its time cost. Is that $50,000 BMW worth 1 year of your life? And the key to controlling your parasitic debts is to control instant gratification. It is easier to avoid debt if you don't buy useless things, just like it is easier to avoid eating chocolate cookies if you don't bring them home in the first place. Next, MJ writes, show me someone who spends hours online playing Mafia Wars or Farmville, and I'll show you someone who probably isn't very successful. When life sucks, escapes are sought. I don't need television because I invested my time into a real life worth living, not a fictitious escape that airs every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Do understand that the distinction where fast laners are frugal with time while slow laners are frugal with money. Part 7, The Roads to Wealth. In this part, MJ writes about the fast lane business that satisfies the 5 fast lane commandments. And they are: 1. The commandment of need. Never start a business just because you want to earn more money. Nobody will care about a business whose sole purpose is to let its owner get rich. Instead, choose to start a business because you want to satisfy a need and to solve a problem. While it is true that you need to do what you love, but people will not pay for your passion, they will for your solution. Thus, your passion must solve a problem. 2. The commandment of entry. The harder it is to enter your business, the better your business will be. If you violate this commandment, you must be extremely exceptional at what you do. For example, when blogs were new many years ago, becoming a full-time blogger to earn a living is a great choice. Today, blogs are everywhere and it is so easy to start a blog. It may not be a good business model unless you can become exceptional at it. When it is easy to enter your business, everyone can do it, but everyone is not wealthy. 3. The commandment of control. The fast lane business will give you full control. For instance, you want to sell franchises, not buy them, offer affiliate programs, not use them, accept rent and royalties, not pay them, and so on. If someone can make the decision and make a change to ruin your business, you are not in the fast lane business. 4. The commandment of scale. There are a few levels of scale in a business: community, city, state, region, national, and international. The larger your business can scale, the more you can earn. If there is a limit to how much you can scale, your business may not be able to go very far. Whenever you want to enter into a business, ask if it is possible to scale and reach millions of customers. 5. The commandment of time. Finally, a real fast lane business must be able to automate. Ask yourself if you can get the business running without spending much of your own time and effort on it. Earning a lot of money and having the time to enjoy it requires a business that can be automated. Here are some specific fast lane businesses that you can consider venturing into. 1. The Internet. Internet-based businesses can be scaled and automated easily, such as lead generation, social networks, advertising, e-commerce, subscription, and content-based online businesses. 2. Innovation. Create and invent a product and then manufacture and distribute it. Most people think that invention requires a lot of creativity and new products, but this is not always true. In fact, most of the successful products are products with improvements. They are not new, but they are better products that created to serve the market in a better sense. Although the invention is important, it is the distribution that makes you money. Hence, learn to master the distribution skill if this is what you do. 3. Iteration. Iteration actually violates the commandment of scale. Take buying franchise and renting out real estate as examples. You are limiting your scaling ability because of geography and location constraint. Unless you buy a second franchise or real estate to rent out, your income will be limited. In business, it is not about your competition. Your objective should be to do it better than others and to improve your products or services. It is not about inventing the breakthroughs, but about closing the performance gaps and solving the inconveniences. And one great way to observe opportunity is when people are complaining or you find the inefficiencies in a product or service. Even if someone else is already exploiting the ideas and already doing it, don't worry about the competition and just focus on doing better than them. Part 8. Your speed, accelerate wealth. In the last section of this book, MJ goes on to explain why speed is the transformation of ideas and how execution can bring you into the fast lane. Human beings love events and tend to process. This is why most people have great ideas, but they are not successful. Ideas are events, execution is the process. And he suggests not approaching your business from only one angle. For example, you just want to compete on price. This is not going to work in the long term. Build a multidimensional business where you can raise prices, lower costs, sell more to existing customers, and create new distribution channels, and so on. Make your customers your boss. MJ says that he always tells his employees, the customer pays your paycheck, not me, keep them happy. He says in the business world, while you don't have a boss, the person who pays and gives you the money is your customer and they always should be heard. Thus, explode your business by developing an excellent customer service strategy that exceeds expectations. Success in business comes from making your customer the boss and the number one stakeholder to your business, writes MJ. And he goes on to say that whenever you discover that the customer service of a business is lousy, you have found a business opportunity. Build brands, not businesses. When you are in business, you will somehow run into competition. And MJ writes that the best way to win the competition is to build a brand that people trust, admire, and love. Businesses have identity crises, but brands do not. And the identity crises will force you as the business owner to go into a price war. MJ tells an interesting story about branding in the book. Cleaning his basement, a man found an old dresser and decided to give it away. He moved the dresser to the street corner and placed a sign on it, free. Shockingly, the dresser stood there all day, and for several days thereafter. This confused the man because the dresser, albeit old, was in decent shape and just needed a quick wood stain for perfection. The man decided a new strategy was warranted. He went to the street corner and replaced the free sign with $50. Not an hour later, the dresser was stolen. As you can see, it is not a matter of price that determines if a business will survive or thrive, but the marketing and branding of the business that matter. A scattered focus leads to scattered results. Having 10 businesses earning $10,000 cumulatively are not better than one business that does it single-handedly. When you split yourself too thin, expect to receive little or no results. MJ gives the advice by saying one should choose monogamy over polygamy. Do not scatter your focus and hop from businesses to businesses. Instead, choose to pay all your attention to one fast lane business and be 100% committed to it. And finally, MJ summarizes the top and important criteria of building a fast lane business in the last chapter. He emphasizes that the get-rich-slow mentality is flawed and you should focus on the fast lane and get rich quick. And remember the 5 commandments when it comes to building a fast lane business. Besides that, switch from a consumer thinking to a producer thinking. Once you get your fast lane business ready, build brands and learn to market it effectively, and focus on your business until you succeed. Thank you for listening to our video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel.